It's been said under... Sorry. Is there another question? Is there another question? Mr Speaker. Leader of the Opposition has a question.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Premier. Today, Daryl Maguire confirmed he told you that the land at Badgerys Creek that Louise Waterhouse was lobbying for was the same land he thought would clear his debts. That was corrupt. You knew it. Why did you refuse to report it?
Mr Speaker, I refer again to this question, which is wrong and highly offensive. And I say to the Leader of the Opposition, either withdraw it or say it outside.
Mr Speaker, Mr Speaker, this was given in evidence today.
The answer has been completed. Is there another question? Leader of the Opposition, are you rising to ask another question?
Mr Speaker.
Okay, thank you.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Premier. Given your refusal to answer when I asked yesterday, I'll ask again. Are you aware of any other members of your government who are taking commissions from property developers? And you can't refuse to answer it again.
Premier.
Mr Speaker, I would say to the Leader of the Opposition, this investigation is being undertaken by the ICAC and not the Labor Party.
Thank you.
Mr Speaker.
Leader of the Opposition has another question. I think we're going to set a record today.
That's because the Premier simply won't answer the question.
Okay.
Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker.
Order! Order, please. Order. Member for Kira, please. Member for Cogra, member for Rockdale, your leader is trying to ask a question. Member for Borkham Hills will remain silent. Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to the Premier. Premier, you said you didn't know Iwan Sanuto, but you did. You said you didn't know what UWE was, but you did. You said you didn't know your office was used to lobby property developers, but you did. You said you didn't know Daryl Maguire stood to profit from a property deal he was lobbying for, but you did. How can the people of New South Wales trust you?
Point of order.
Leader of the Opposition. Just one moment. I will give the chance for the Leader of the Opposition to ask the question, again in a moment, but there was a point of order called. I've given the call to the member for Cronulla.
Mr Speaker, I've taken a very restrained approach to objecting to the Opposition Leader's questions, but like all previous questions, this question contravenes Standing Order 128. It contains argument, inference, imputation, expression of opinion, hypothetical matter, and it's disorderly.
Are you arising further to the point of order?
I am, Mr Speaker.
I'm happy to hear further to the point
Mr Speaker, the Attorney-General has actually appeared for people within the Independent Commission Against Corruption hearings previously.
What is the point? Speaking, no, I know what the point of order is. I want to hear to the point of order.
I am speaking to his point of order.
Member for Wakehurst
Perhaps you should pay attention. Mr Speaker, the content of my question is evidence given within the Independent Commission Against Corruption. It is on the record at the Independent Commission Against Corruption. I am entitled to ask a question in relation to evidence given at the Independent Commission Against Corruption. It comes back to whether the people of New South Wales can trust this Premier, and I have put to this Premier evidence given at the Independent Commission Against Corruption.
I was happy to give the Leader of the Opposition a chance to speak to the point of order. Order. Member for Wakehurst and the Treasurer, please, you're not helping. In the context of Standing Order 128, we'd have to have the question asked again. Are you happy to have the question? I could not hear the question. Okay. What I would just quiet for a moment, please.
I'm happy to refresh your memory.
If you would like to rephrase the question to potentially take into account the objection, my tendency, not having heard the whole question, was that you were making assertions rather than referring to evidence. I'm happy to have a look at the question. I'm happy to have a look at the question if you wish me to, but I do not want, if you are prefacing a question by actual facts which have been established, then please phrase it in that way and don't make assertions or statements of fact which might be contested.
But Mr Speaker, these are not. This is evidence given by the Premier at the Independent Commission Against Corruption this week.
Well, if you want to read, I will listen to the question, and I do ask the chamber just to be quiet. Just let me hear the question.
At ICAC.
Thank you. Let me hear the question. Well, I don't, and I didn't hear it. Member for Wakehurst is on a call.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Premier. You said you didn't know Iwan Sanuto, but you did. You said you didn't know what UWE was, but you did. You said you didn't know your office was used to lobby property developers, but you did. You said you didn't know Daryl Maguire stood to profit from a property deal he was lobbying for, but you did. How can the people of New South Wales trust you?
Right. Premier is happy to take the question.
Mr Speaker, I don't know why she's asked me the question, because she's asked the question and answered it herself. She already has the answer, so I don't know why she's even asking me. She's answered her own question, Mr Speaker.
Member for Swansea's on a call.
Mr Speaker, the opposition...
Member for Maitland's on a call.
Look, Mr Speaker, the opposition can clutch at any straws they like. The truth is I've done nothing wrong and the people of New South Wales know it.
Does the member for Murray rise for a question? Thank you. The member for Murray.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. My question is to Gladys Berejiklian. To the Premier, sorry. Sorry, apologies. Daryl Maguire told you about his dealings with the Chinese-owned company UWE in 3 separate phone calls on the 24th of August, the 30th of August and the 1st of September 2017. That's 3 times in a week. So why did you lie to ICAC on Monday by telling them that you didn't know what UWE was?
The Premier's indicated she's happy to answer the question. I would, in normal circumstances, not allow that question, but given the Premier's indicated, I'll give her the call.
Mr Speaker, I'll let order, colleagues. I will.
Order! Order!
Thank you. Mr Speaker, I'll let that question speak for itself. But can I say that I provided assistance as a witness on Monday in great detail. I was forthright, direct, much to my personal detriment, but I had to do it because it is in the public interest. And I say to the people of New South Wales that every day that I have been in this place, since 2003, I've worked hard, my guts out for the people. I'll continue to do that. I never have and never will do anything wrong, but I will work my guts out for the people of this great state.